All right, we are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris, and this is my channel, We Love Comics. And we're actually going to be doing an unboxing today. I figured, considering I have probably over 100 boxes of comics that I have not opened, some of them have been here for 2 years or more, I figured it is time to start unboxing a few. I was in the mood to make a video today, and I thought you guys would appreciate it. So, I also want to let people know I am doing a live auction this Sunday, August 14th, starting at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll show just 4 of the books that I will be selling. There's going to be a lot more than that, obviously. So if you're interested in doing the auction, it is this Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I will allow payment plans up to 4 months, where you can buy a little bit more expensive book. I will hold on to it until you make the 4th and final payment, but it would have to be a minimum deposit of the first payment, and then you can go 4 payments from there. Also, I'm going to be doing a... I also want to promote my comic mystery boxes. The link is in the description. I just also put it in the live chat. The mystery boxes start at $29.99 and go as high as $5,000. Now, the $5,000 ones, there will be no junk comics. They will all be key issues, first appearances, #1 issues, or special origins, things like that. It won't be some generic comic. I've had people buy them before. That's what got me here to Florida. So check that out. Again, the link is in the description. Just also, I put it in the live chat. So I'm going to do some. I got 2 of these packages that I have no idea what they are because I didn't write them on the label. And then I have 6 boxes that I absolutely know what they are, so you won't have to worry about if the first 2 are, just nobody cares about comics. There will be plenty of others. Of course, I always tell people the prices I pay, which of course includes shipping. And then we will go from there. And if you have any questions or anything, Super Chat will guarantee me seeing it because it puts it in a higher box, but you don't have to do that. If you write it in all caps and I check it out, I will do that because I know there's a lot of different topics going on in the comic book community. Some of it does not shock me, but we'll get into that later if people are interested. So there's the link. Check that out to my mystery boxes. And let's first put on the video camera so you can see. Alright, so here we go. Alright, so I'm going to start with the 2 that I have no idea what's in them. Unless they come with an invoice inside, I'm not going to know what the prices are. Let's see when I got this. This was June 9th, 2020. So, a little over 2 years ago I got this comic. At least I'm assuming it's a comic, but I'm sure it is. And I always thank those that are kind enough to join the live chat and hit the like button. So out of 9 people, 2 people were kind enough to hit the like button. It does help my channel. Also, make sure you check out my description of my videos because there's a lot of discount codes and things like that. And a lot of them I don't even mention, so give that a try. Wonder why I bought this. Interesting. Because I got this the day it came out back in the days. But this is Batman 497. When Bane breaks Batman's back. I don't know if somebody gifted that to me. Or it was a bonus or something. Or maybe somebody scammed me. Who knows. Obviously, all my Mega Key books I always open right away. So it wouldn't be something like that. It does not have an invoice. I have no idea what I paid for that, so that one's kind of interesting. Little 90s nostalgia. Definitely not expecting that. Alright, so this is the second one that I don't know what's in it. The rest I do. And if you're just tuning in, I am doing a live auction this Sunday. That is the 14th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So please come check out my channel and be a part of that. Alright, so there are 2 books in here. I always love when they use this eBay tape because this stuff is not the best tape. They did not use... They put them in bags, but they didn't put a backing board. They just put a piece of cardboard on the back. Gotta love people. Alright, so there's a couple of books in here. Let's see what these are. Could be, I think they're all the same. Okay, no, it's Adventures into Fear 13, 14, and 15. So, nothing major in those, which is probably why I never labeled them. When did I get that one? Who cares? Let me see what it says. That was January of 2020. Alright, so those are out of the way. Nothing major about those. So let's go into the ones where there are better books. And I do know what they are, and I do know the prices. So let's get into the first one here. Let's see. I got this April 7th, 2021. Probably one of the last comics I bought in a while. But this, of course, is a book I would highly recommend. This is X-Men number 120. I was telling people for a while that there have been rumors and, you know, potential Alpha Flight maybe showing up someday in the MCU. Best time to be getting books is not when there's an announcement. It's when there could be potentially an announcement, or you go with your gut and think this is a character or heroes or group or whatever they might use someday. And that's when you can get the best chances of a decent price. This is probably between a 6 and a 7. So higher grade, but not extremely high grade. X-Men books are going to be hot, especially since we know X-Men is coming to the MCU. They'll have so many different stories they can go with that in the future. And I paid $104.95 for this book. And that, of course, includes shipping and handling. Alright, next up. Totally forgot I bought this book. This arrived January 19. And the date is... Oh, okay. January 22nd, 21. So they mailed it on the 19th. I got it on the 22nd. So January 22nd, 2021. And look at this. Not in a packing board. Gotta love people sometimes. This is a low-grade book. I'm sure I knew that, especially since the price I paid for this. I wanted it because at the time there were the rumors going around. And they put the sticker on the comic book. Awesome. They put the pricing sticker on the comic. Which, of course, somebody tried to peel off and ripped up part of the comic. So, awesome. So I'm going to try and remove that. So that's dramatically going to lower the grade. And it's got a hole in it. So nothing I can do about it at this point. It is what it is. That will absolutely lower the grade even further. But this was a lower grade anyway. So sticker on it. Lovely. So good job to whoever sold this to me. Alright. So it's got a hole in it. But for the price I paid, I don't really care. Obviously, this is going to be a low-grade book. This is probably, especially after that, it's probably a 1.0 at best. But Fantastic Four number 19, which is technically the first appearance of Kang the Conqueror, when he was the Pharaoh. I forget the name of it. But I only paid $61 for the book. So as you can see, sticker, part of it's still on it. I'll have to try a little bit later to get that off. But they covered a hole with it. So, very nice job of a dishonest seller. That's people for you. But, you know, it's not a Hulk 181 or anything, so I can live with that. But, you know, it happens. It's not the end of the world. You know, if I would have paid $500 for that book, it'd be a whole different story. But for 61 bucks, I could break even. Who knows? But we'll see. It's something that happens. Nothing I can do about it. And I'm going to post a link again in the live chat, but you can also check it in the description of this or any video. Check out some of my mystery boxes. I haven't sold a mystery box in probably 2 years. I think people have forgotten about it. So it's a good way to support the channel. Good way to help with me being able to get back into buying comic books again. And here we go. So next up. See, I don't get too mad. You know, life is, especially these days, life is too crazy to let anything, like, destroy you. I mean, yeah, it kind of stinks that somebody would do that. But, you know, in the grand scheme of things, if that's the worst thing that happens in my life, you know, it is what it is. I'm not one of those people that likes to cry about stuff like that. Especially since, you know what, I could have opened it 2 years ago, and so that's my responsibility. So, you know, you live and you learn. Alright, so they threw in an extra book. Freebie fun pack, which is only one comic, so I don't think they understand what a fun pack is. But it's Harbinger number 11, so I don't think that has any significance, but still nice. Oh, okay, so this, I was going to say, this better not be the book I ordered. They also added Ghost Rider number 32. Very wonderful. But luckily there is a comic inside here. This is the one that's the most important. And did not write the price on it. But about, again, 6.0 to 7.0. X-Men 109. First appearance of, I forget his name, Weapon, they called him at the time Weapon Alpha, but that, of course, was the leader of Alpha Flight. So another good book. I probably spent about between 60 and 100 for that somewhere, but unfortunately I didn't write the price on that one, so sorry about that. But again, another good book to have. Just try and make some room here. Alright, and 8 people have already hit the like button, so thank you for that. And don't forget, guys, I'm going to be doing a live comic auction on this coming Sunday, starting at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Hopefully you will be there. Alright, this one, I did write the price. I got this one March 31st of 2021. They protected this one quite well. Nice to see. And of course, we all know we always all save the bubble wrap. So I'm sure if somebody buys one of the comics either in a mystery box or in the live auction, I'll probably use this very same bubble wrap. Who knows? Okay. These are books I was telling people to buy months ago, because you know me, I like to buy things based on information before, because I knew this was inevitable. Okay, so case looks very good. It's not a high grade, but for the price I paid for it, definitely, as they say, not going to complain. This, of course, is Secret Wars number 3. It's a graded CGC 8.0. But I only paid $52.08 for this book. And that includes shipping and handling. That, of course, first appearance of the newest Titania. She's supposedly going to, well, I think that's not a spoiler, that she'll be one of the villains in the She-Hulk TV show. But of course, Secret Wars, we know, is coming. They have confirmed that to the MCU, so getting anything Secret Wars is going to be something that I recommended a while ago. but still not too late to get, but I'm sure prices are not getting any cheaper at this point. All right, next up, this one I got. Where's the date? It's scribbled out a little bit. Okay. May of 20. So 2020. Okay. I'm telling you, sometimes it's all about getting them at the right time. Because people will go, I remember when I was getting these, people are like, why are you getting these books? And now, people are saying, man, I wish I would pay the price that he got. Now this is not the first appearance or anything, but for the price, jeez, they got these pretty good. See, I'm out of practice from doing comic unboxings. This is Secret War book 1 of 5. It does have the pinup. This is the commemorative edition. White pages, 9.8. Paid $49.99 for that book. So for me, $50 for a 9.8 with white pages, I'll take it. I'm just going to mark the price on it right now. So I don't believe there's a major first appearance or anything in this one. I just know anything. Now, this is a different thing from Secret Wars. It's the gold foil logo. But I figured for the price, it was worth getting on a 9.8. Alright, so last but not least, before I show the last book, I'm going to show you just 4 of the books. These are all graded. Most of the books are going to be graded. For the auction I'm going to be doing on Sunday, here's just 4 of the books that I'm going to be having for sale. First one here is a She-Hulk number 1, 9.2, but it is the newsstand edition. So newsstand editions are harder to get, with white pages, by the way, in higher grade. Next up, for the auction, Avengers number 8 at a 3.5. Of course, that is the first appearance of Kang the Conqueror, off-white to white pages. For the Golden Age lovers, not many people are going to have stuff like this in this grade. Superman number 25, CGC 7.0. So if you're looking for a higher grade early Superman, and there's new ownership of the DC universe, and they're really looking to go into the top 3, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, and redoing them. So I hope they do it right. But now might be the best time to start grabbing early Superman. That's not my earliest, but it's my highest graded earliest ones. And last but not least, like I said, I'm going to have a lot more of them. Major Key, Amazing Spider-Man number 14. The reason I'm selling this is I have a couple of different copies. This one is a 3.0, off-white to white pages. Of course, first appearance of the Green Goblin. So that's just some of the comics that will be for sale at the live auction. And that will be this Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So let's do the last box for today. So hopefully you'll be interested in getting any of the comics that I will be selling. But like I said, if you don't want to wait until Sunday, if you want to check out my mystery boxes that I have for sale, you can get those at any time. There's a link right there in the live chat, and I also have that in the description. So they put a bunch of crumbled shredded newspaper. I don't know how that helps, but I guess it's better than what some of the others did. So one of them ended up being not the best way. But, you know, like I said, I'm not going to spend the rest of my life being upset over things I have no control over. Alright, so they added an extra book, which is always nice. the extra books tend to not be anything anyone ever needs. Aquaman number 15, the new 52. So there you go. And then we have the Secret War book 1 of 5. This is signed by Gabriel Del Otto. It is the first appearance of Lucia von Bardis, which is the female Doctor Doom. So these days, they have so many different female versions of things. Would they use a female version of Doctor Doom at some point? Would not shock me. But I paid $50.45. It is sealed. Comes with a certificate of authenticity. So, still not a bad book. That's why I got those. I knew there was a reason for it. So, it is the first appearance of Lucia von Bardis, which is basically the female Doctor Doom. So those are the books. 17 people watched or are watching. 11 people. 11 of them hit the like button, so thank you for that. Please come check out. Oh, and yeah, I'm going to talk about this. GT comic. Can I get your take on the Ultimate Fallout Acetate exclusive fiasco? Now, first of all, I want to thank everybody for showing up. If you don't want to hear this stuff, thank you. Please hit the like button on your way out. I hope you will leave a comment. I hope you will check my description of this and every video and check out the mystery boxes and other discounts that I offer. I don't know the full details on it, but I do know, from what I understand from watching somebody else's video, I really don't get into this stuff anymore as far as the drama kind of stuff. There were certain YouTubers, and I'm not going to mention anybody's names, that supposedly there was a Ultimate Fallout 4 commemorative edition where they supposedly, from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, added a acetate cover, added new staples. There was supposed to be, from what I understand, a limit of 2 of them per person, but there were certain comic book YouTube channels, and I don't know if it's true or not, so I'm just speculating at this point, so that's why I'm not mentioning any names, but supposedly they pre-ordered dozens of the book before anybody else could get them. And by the time other people got them, they were either sold out or people were selling them like $300-400 on eBay. Also, I was informed that CGC already had some graded and they gave it a blue label, 9.8. When you add staples to a book, that is altering the original comic. CGC is proving time and time again that they are all about the money. From what I understand, there was a big backlash on CGC. How long have I been trying to warn people about giving a company all the time free passes? It gives them the illusion that they can do anything because people may complain, people may make videos talking about how upset they are, but if you keep giving them your money and you keep giving them your business, that sends them a message, look at all the things we can get away with, people still pay us. So there are a lot of people in this world that ethics is not their number one priority. Now, to be fair, I guarantee you, if any of us had the opportunity to get a limited edition book before anybody else, I'm sure many people would do it. So I am going to be fair in that sense that I'm not going to chastise these people for doing what pretty much all of us would do if given the opportunity. But if people lied about it, that's a whole nother level. Now, if you've been following my channel, and even if you haven't, check my old videos. I have been consistent about how I am and what I do since the beginning. That's why I do all my videos nowadays live, especially when I do my PGX unboxings. Every single one I've done for the past almost 5 years has been live because I will not edit videos. I will not chop them up. I'm not going to sit here and try and do like most YouTubers, and I'm not just talking the comic book community. I'm talking all over YouTube, where they give this facade of a life that is basically impossible to really live. Where they have this YouTube persona where they act a certain way, but they're really this way. And if you know anything about me, if you've been watching my channel, whether you like me or hate me, I'm consistent. And I keep it real. I'm not about the money. And trust me, there was a point where my channel, before I shut down my original We Love Comics channel, my live shows were between 1,000 and 3,000 viewers. And I was making about $600 a month in ad revenue. That's how I was able to afford some of the comics. Now I make, I think either $6 or $9 a month in ad revenue. And I gave that all up because people accused me of being things that I'm not. And other people believed it based on what other people said with no ounce of proof. And there is a large comic book YouTuber, and again, I won't say his name or her name, that accused me of something that I did not do, which I found very hypocritical, because this person was always talking about how you should have proof before you condemn somebody, and they based it on their assumption and rumors that I was getting paid by PGX, which I never was. And I've had, actually, I think the video's still up, you just got to find it, where I did an interview with Daniel Patterson, and he confirmed that I do not get paid. And that destroyed my channel, because my reputation at that point was shot, because people on the internet will believe whatever they hear without verification. So there are people on YouTube all over that care more about money than their integrity. And I did a video just a couple of days, maybe last week, about reviewers of comic book movies, where if they are allowed early access, that means they're going to get the first views, they're going to get the ad revenue, they're going to be able to see a movie or a TV show before others can. They have to sign contracts. They cannot be 100% truthful if they view it to be a garbage show or a garbage a movie. They have to say as much niceness as possible, otherwise they'll risk the chance of losing that early access. To me, I used to do comic book movie reviews. I won't do them anymore. I have not seen Thor: Love and Thunder. I have not seen Black Widow. I have not watched some of these SJW shows. So why would I do a review on them? Why would I want to waste my time on movies and TV shows that I have zero interest in because of their politics? In my view, to tell people that something is what they view as garbage and spend your money in doing it, it just sends a bad message. But unfortunately, when it comes to this comic book, CGC should be called out. But as usual, there'll be many people that will complain. Many people that will, biatch and moan on their videos. Now, I'm not saying anybody in particular, but I know even if they haven't made them yet, I'm sure there will be some that will. But they'll still spend their money with CGC, and they'll still claim they're the best, even though they raise their prices all the time, even though their customer service is ridiculous, even though the quality of their service is downgraded over time, even though you will wait months for your books, even if you spend the extra money. Let's put it this way. There is no mathematical way that CGC, with the amount of thousands of books they get daily, for 3 independent supposed checkers of the book, can look at every single page with a fine-tooth comb and get them all out. People don't realize how much time it takes to have one person open the book. Well, first look at the cover, look at the edges, look at the staples, look at the back cover, open the first page, open the centerfold, look at every page to make sure there isn't a piece of writing on page 14 or a coupon missing from page 17 or somebody wrote their name in one of the advertisements on page 30. And then have 2 other people supposedly verify the same things? It's virtually impossible. People in this world should know anything in life. You can complain. You can riot, which I don't recommend. You can protest. You can do this, that, and the other thing. All that does is gives them free advertisement. You want to stop a business from doing bad practices, you stop giving them your money. I am no longer going to say I consider CGC the #1 grading company. I don't know who is at this point. CGC may still be #1 by default, but they're sure not acting like a company who has pride in what they do when they care more about making more and more money than helping the people that have already paid for their books and they're waiting for them, or the people that had exclusive signatures through CGC. And instead of them focusing on getting those books signed and delivered back to them, they're adding more people to sign books so they can get more revenue. So, if people have a problem with this Ultimate Fallout 4 book, and I've bought a total of 0 of them, and I will buy a total of 0 of them, I don't care about how much money. If you see my collection, I mean, here's a Superman #5. There's a Hulk 180 right there. I have about a dozen of them. This one I'm going to be getting redone. This is Batman #59. I have some key issues I can make money on. Like, for example, here's Fantastic Four #49 at a 5.0. I spent a grand total of $60 on this book. I'm going to make money regardless. There's a right way to make money and there's a wrong way to make money. Again, if people want to be dishonest, and if they're supposed to be, first of all, the people that are selling the book, if they're telling people there's a 2 purchase limit and you cannot pre-order them, and then they let other people that are quote-unquote influencers, which I think is so stupid a term. Just because somebody's popular doesn't mean they're influencing me. I don't care what somebody promotes unless it's good for me. And I will know it's good for me because I've done my own research, not because some shady person that I don't know on YouTube who has 1 million followers thinks he or she is so wonderful because of the amount of numbers they have of viewers. I'm not going to listen to what they promote because a lot of times I know they're promoting it because they're getting paid to do it. I mean, I'll give you a prime example. On my other channel, it's called Bar None 11970. Many of you may know about it, many may not. I don't promote it here very often because it has nothing to do with comics. But I make and sell these things. They're called Orgone pyramids. Some of you may have heard of them, some may not. Now, I also on that very same channel have a video that teaches you how to make them yourself for free. So if you don't want to buy them from me, you can make them yourself. And I go through a full detail of what you need to buy, what is the purpose of them, how you make them step by step, and I do it for free. For those who don't want to make them or realize how expensive they are to make them, or tried to make them and they don't work because they don't have the patience or the ability or the area, because it needs to be a certain temperature for them to work. If you live in Alaska, you're probably not going to be able to make these all year round. They have the access to buy mine. But again, I teach people how to make it for free, so they don't have to buy from me. Like my mystery boxes. Yes, I have them available, but how many times have I promoted them? The only reason I even brought it up is my last video, somebody mentioned it. I totally forgot about it. So there's a right way and a wrong way to make money. So if you just follow any influencer or any popular person on YouTube, popularity should not be based on how many people look at a video. Even if you like somebody, sometimes they may not be lying, they may just get stuff wrong, or they may have their own selfish purpose. I mean, I'm going to do in that auction because I need money to pay some bills. It happens. But I'm not going to try and lie to people. How many times on my live auctions have I told people before you place a bid, go on eBay, see what they're selling for, see what they sold for, make sure you do your due diligence. How many auction sites do you know of, any auctions, whether it be comics or something else, that will tell you, don't just bid on what I'm trying to sell you to make money on. Go check it so you're not overspending. And there were times I would stop auctions because the price of a book was getting towards what you can buy it on for eBay for. I could have easily just kept going. There's a right way and a wrong way to make money. It's called integrity. So, like I said, There are certain YouTubers that have certain bigger YouTube channels that I'm not mentioning anybody's names on, that supposedly, and I wasn't there so I cannot verify it to be true or not, bought a bunch of these books even though there's supposedly a 2 limit and they were supposed to wait online, but supposedly they cut in line. Now, if anybody else had the opportunity to do that, I guarantee you 90% of them would do it. Would I do it? I probably would have. To be honest, if I was waiting online and somebody said, hey, I know the person that's selling these comics, I can actually get you in the beginning, you don't have to wait online, and you could buy a couple. Now, would I buy hundreds? No. Would I buy 5 or 10? If I was allowed to? I probably would. So, there has to be people that cannot have that high horse of judgment and not be real that they probably would have done the same thing. So if you were on the back of a line that would maybe, let's assume it took 3 hours from the back of the line to the front of the line, and you know by the time you got there they might be sold out, and one of your friends is actually friends of the person that's selling them and says, you know what, if you want, you can go straight up in the line and buy a couple of extra. I guarantee you many of people would do it. If you say you wouldn't do it, I can't say you're a liar, because maybe somebody wouldn't, but I can't say I wouldn't do it. But I wouldn't lie about it. And from what I understand, these people tried to point people out, call other people out, and say, well, if they did it, I did it, and yada yada. Own up to what you do. That creates integrity, because you know what? Everybody makes mistakes in their life. Everybody does something wrong. It happens. It's life. But it's what you do after that is what really defines you as a human being. Now, these Ultimate Fallout 4 comics, I've been telling people since 2016 to buy the original. If you listen to me, you don't have to worry about this garbage. Most people, when it comes to anything, whether it be stocks, whether it be comics, whether it be gold and silver, whether it be cars, sneakers, stamps, what have you, most people buy stuff when everybody else wants it. In other words, they're basing it on emotion. I promise you, 8 months from now, probably less than 8 months from now, those books will probably be, you couldn't give them away for $50. And by the time the price goes down to $50, which of course I can't guarantee, no one will want them. I mean, how many of you right now want the first appearance? I think it's, I forget, I'm not even going to say which book it is, but it's the first time that Captain America lifts up Thor's hammer. I forget the number of the book, and I don't want to say the wrong one. Now, when people heard rumors that the Endgame movie was going to have that scene, that book, I know somebody that told me they could sell it for $200. I told them, sell it right at that moment and thank your lucky stars you got it sold. Now, that book, probably now, you could probably get that same book for probably $10, $20. Who wants it? So, if you really want this book, you have to ask yourself, do you really want it because it's a highly sought-out collectible that has a lot of investment potential? Or are you buying it because everybody else is saying, I want that. Now, you want it too. Which means the emotion is what's creating the value. It's like a Ponzi scheme or a pyramid scheme. Once they get the suckers to buy them at $300, $400, $500 a piece, and a couple of weeks go by, sometimes it could happen within a week, but let's just give it the benefit of the doubt, it lasts 6 to 8 months. That book is going to plummet. It's not the first appearance of Miles Morales, no matter what they do. People base things on hype. If you don't like a practice, don't spend the money. Let it be somebody else's problem. Now, I know there'll be plenty of people that will have bought it at $200, $300, $400, $500, watch it probably drop down to $100, $75, $50, whatever, to the point where they couldn't sell it at any price, that are going to complain about the industry. Well, no one put a gun to your head and forced you to buy it. If you're going to go for what I've always said for years, the flavor of the month, and you've put no effort into it other than, well, everybody else wants it, and these higher, influencers in the comic book community are promoting it on their site. I mean, not for nothing, and I'm not singling anybody out because I know a couple of people that have businesses. But if you have a YouTube channel that promotes comic books and your sole business or part of your business is to be a comic book store, There is a conflict of interest there. Think about it. I owned the flea market. I never denied it. I used to make videos at the flea market. When people saw me at the flea market, and anybody that saw me at the flea market can contest, can guarantee I'm right about this, I always worked with them for prices. And I wasn't trying to promote a book and then sell it at my auction. I mean, on the flea market. I was very careful about what I was promoting. And you notice a lot of the books are at least minor key books that I have. I have a lot of books that are key issue comics. Because if I'm going to spend, let's say somebody gets a 9.8 of this book and pays $500 for it. For $500, I'd rather get a lower to mid-grade Origin of Doctor Doom or some other valuable Silver Age, Golden Age, Bronze Age, maybe even Copper Age comic. But that's just me. There's an old saying that says, "A fool and their money are soon parted." And there are going to be plenty of people that do no research, who just follow emotion. Emotion is energy in motion. You're creating your own energy by what you're doing in your motion. And then if you hitch your horse to the wrong cart or the wrong wagon, don't be upset if that wagon overturns or your horse dies. I say repeatedly, do your own research. It's okay to listen to others, but sometimes you can learn what not to do from listening to others. It doesn't always have to be listening to those you like, because they may not lie intentionally, and some may, but they may get something wrong. Or it may be their point of view that does not work with your point of view. I lost thousands of dollars in the stock market. Well, technically I haven't lost it because I haven't sold any of my stock yet. But I was not doing my due diligence. I was not doing enough research. I was listening to some YouTubers that I thought seemed to know what they were doing. And out of $8,500 that I invested in the stock market, it's down to like $2,300, and it's probably going to go a lot lower. That's a lot of money for me. But it's my fault. I take full responsibility because I did not practice what I preach when it comes to my comic book collection. On another token, I've been collecting gold and silver since 2010, probably. I did a lot of research on that. It has not gone to fruition as of yet. It may still, based on the way the recession is going and how the economy is going and how they're printing fiat currency like it's going out of style. And if you don't know the difference between money and fiat currency, you may want to start researching it. But even if you research stuff, it doesn't guarantee you're always going to get it right or right at that moment. So there are always going to be people where their priority is always going to be making the most money or trying to be the most popular. You can't escape that. It's okay to do things like that every now and then. We all have to make money to survive, to pay our bills and live our lives. So let's not be holier than thou and say that some people would not probably do the same thing. What they may do different is they may not lie about it or may not point fingers at others. I always own up to my mistakes. It's not always easy. It's definitely, humbling and even sometimes humiliating. But if you keep trying to do the right thing, you live a better life. So I guarantee I'm probably one of the few people on YouTube that would say if I was in that scenario where I could have had the opportunity to cut the line and buy a couple of those books, would I have? I would at the very least consider it. And I know many people would, but be too afraid to admit that. Now, I wouldn't be buying, I think somebody said they bought $10,000 or $15,000 worth. If you're buying, I don't know if that's true or not, but if you're buying $15,000 worth of a modern commemorative variant, you're an idiot, in my opinion. Because with $15,000, you could buy a Fantastic Four #1, lower grade, You could buy a Daredevil #1, probably a 2 or 3.0 at this point. You could buy an X-Men #1, again, lower grade. Let's see, $15,000. You can buy a 1.0 Amazing Spider-Man #1, or a short box or two of Ultimate Fallout 4 commemorative variant issue. Hello, McFly. But there will be some that will create the hype, that will use their platform to take advantage of their people who trust their word because they may like them. And I'm talking both male and female here. Because from what I understand, there are some bigger female-driven comic book channels that have done the same exact thing. They're going to make their money. Because even though I've warned people about other channels and make sure you do your own due diligence, there's going to be many people that will just follow people blindly. I love the fact if you love what I do and say, but I don't want anybody to ever take everything I say at face value without verification, just for the fact that I may make a simple mistake, or I may have an opinion that's different from yours. There are always going to be channels, and not just in the comic book community, when it comes to reviewing something, selling something, promoting something. There's a lot of money at stake for a lot of these people. And that's why when I made the deal with PGX, I told them, because I said the same thing. I contacted CGC, CBCS, and PGX. CGC and CBCS never even responded. PGX not only was the only one, but the owner himself talked to me in an email, and then we talked over the phone. And I told them specifically, because my subscribers mean everything to me, even though there are only 27 people watching. At one point, I used to have 1,000 to 3,000 people watching a live show. So it's gone. I lost a lot of people, basically because other people trashed me unfairly, and people believed it. Plus the fact I haven't been making a lot of videos, so I'm going to own up to my mistakes as well. But I told Daniel Patterson specifically, and he had no problem with this. I said, I'm not going to sign a contract. I do not want to be obligated to say something unless I believe it or I experience it. Now, if you've watched my PGX live videos for the past 4.5 to 5 years, none of the cases ever came in damaged. Maybe 5 books, and I send in 4 a month, every month for 4.5 to 5 years. Maybe 5 or 6 books total were sent back in grades that I did not agree with. In the grand scheme of things, that's not a bad ratio. If you ever notice, I'm usually pretty spot on what I predict the grades are going to be. I told Daniel Patterson, and he was okay with this, that if I don't agree with something, I should be allowed to say it. And he said, yes, we want truth. And that matters to me. Now, that doesn't guarantee you're going to like PGX, you're going to have the same experience from PGX, or you're going to ever even try them. All I can do is share my experience. But that's why I do it live. There's no cut-ups. There's no trying to do things sneakily or try and make them look better than they are. I say, here it is. This is my experience. Take from it what you will. Most channels will not do that because they care more about their money or their business. And I know, even though I've struggled, I'm still in my house. We're not going to be foreclosed on. I bought this house cash, so I have no mortgage. I want to eventually sell my entire collection so my wife and I can buy our forever house. And I know it's going to happen in time. So I know it's going to happen. It's just not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. But I want to do things the right way. Now, does that guarantee everything I do and say is going to be perfect? No. I'm going to make mistakes. I did a video that killed my channel when I was talking about how I did not agree with Mylars. How they were not the best. because a mylar cannot stop oxygen or microscopic organisms or the environment from damaging the book. And I always said that you could save money by buying the cheaper bags and boards and replace them if money is an issue. And I got killed for that. I lost so many subscribers. But I will stick to my guns and not cave in to what the majority may feel is wrong, because they didn't do any research. Because if this is in the most expensive mylar with the most expensive backing boards, and you put this in the attic where it gets cold in the winter and hot in the summer, and there's a lot of moisture, and there's a lot of insects, and potential mold, your book's going to get destroyed. How is that saving you money? It's the illusion. And who promotes those things? The businesses. To me, brand loyalty on any brand should be based on, are they loyal to you? Are they giving you what you want? Because if you follow any company blindly and give them a free pass no matter what they do that you disagree with, then you are just as much a part of the problem as they are. If you don't like a phone company's service, don't rant and rave. Don't go out and spend your day protesting in the hot sun or the cold winter in front of their building where they don't give a rat's behind what you're doing. Go to another company and give them your money, your currency. Complaining and doing nothing solves the very same thing. Nothing. So there are going to be people that are going to promote this Ultimate Fallout 4 book. Many people are going to lose their shirt on this one. Some rightfully so. I cannot feel bad for those that try and do the wrong thing and end up having it backfire on them. Karma finds people eventually. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Probably not in this video, but by their deeds, you shall know them. Whether you like me or not, if you have a shred of integrity in your mind, body, and soul, you will see that I've been consistent since day one. Now, I can change my mind on certain things over time, but from what I agree with or what I've been telling people to collect and how I tell people to make sure they do their verifications and everything has not changed and will not change. The world is going into chaos. Some are prepared for this chaos. Some have been preparing for it for over a decade, like myself. I've seen the writing on the wall since about 2011. I kind of view it as, if you blow into a balloon, you know eventually that balloon will pop. But because a balloon is very elastic, you don't know when it's going to pop. Because it can expand, it can widen, it can hold a lot of pressure. But you know, if you blow into that balloon and never stop, there will come a time that balloon can no longer stretch and it explodes. When it comes to the way the economy is going, they are building up the biggest bubble the world has ever seen in history. Now, one of the things I used to tell people on my other channel to this day still holds true. Because I've had people, because I used to promote gold and silver, and they say, oh, well, it's been a decade, it hasn't happened yet. You were wrong. Well, no, I wasn't wrong because we're not done yet. But this is what I always say. It is better to be 10 years too early than 10 seconds too late. Give you an example, and you should follow this in anything in life. You live in a community, okay? There's a whole village of houses. And above the village is a dam that they've had there for, let's say, 100 years. Old Reliable, they call that dam. Holding back thousands and thousands of gallons of water from falling down on that town. Because it's such lush land that only the very wealthiest can live there. And they built the dam to stop the water. Extremely valuable, okay? And people start to notice since the The dam has been there for over 100 years. Little cracks. And a drop of water here and there. But no big deal. A smart person would say, okay, the politicians and the government and the people in the town are ignoring this. They're not repairing it. They're trying to convince people that everything's fine. It doesn't need the repair. Maybe they'll do a paint job and everything. But you know the things break down over time. If left untreated, and even if treated, things don't last forever. So a smart person would see, if that dam breaks, everybody in that town is dead. I want to get the heck out of there beforehand. So let's say I'm the smart one, and I have $1 million house, and I want to get out of there, and I sell it for $800,000. And all of the town is laughing hysterically at me. It's like, you idiot, you're leaving the best place in the entire country or the entire area. The property's going to double in the next 2 years. You're crazy. And let's say 2 years goes by. A couple more cracks here and there, but again, the government and the town officials tell you nothing to worry about. It happens, concrete expands and there's always going to be natural little drips. It happens, don't worry about it, you're fine. Little drips, it happens, don't worry about it, you're fine. And 2 years later, property values double. And some of my family or friends or people that live there contact me and say, oh, see, we told you, you idiot. You could have doubled your money. Next day, the dam breaks. Water comes flooding in. And all of those people that were there in those double valued houses, in the best property in the land, look out their window to see their death coming. Because there's nothing you can do to escape it. That's what's going on in this world. Whether you believe it or not is irrelevant to what is. You could sit there while that dam is breaking and see that water coming. You can deny it all you want. You can close your eyes. You could listen to Fox News, MSNBC, CNN. You could read the New York Times, the Los Angeles Post, or whatever they are, and they'll tell you everything that you want to hear. It'll make it sunshine and rainbows. You can add as much perfume onto manure you want. It's still manure. Or you can listen to your own instincts and you can do what is right for you, even if it goes against what everybody else says. You notice the people in history that did the changes in the world the most were not the masses of people. They were one person or a small group of people that changed the world, that created the invention, that started the revolution, that came up with a cure, that initiated the savior of their town, village, or country. It's not the masses. Pick your side, but pick it wisely. To be in denial about anything is only going to hurt you and your family. So, if I was in that village and lost $1 million on a house, but kept my life, even if I could have made more money if I stayed, it's still worth it. Because I knew the writing on the wall and I paid attention to it, no matter how much rose-colored poop they were putting out there to tell you everything's fine. Nothing to see here. So, would I buy that Ultimate Fallout 4 book knowing what I know about it now? Nope. Will some still do it? Yep. Will some say they won't do it and still do it? Yep. Will there be people who bought hundreds of them that made a lot of money off of taking advantage of people and promoting it on their websites or their YouTube channels? Probably. Will some of them take a beating for it? Most likely. Will it be a temporary beating? Probably. Will CGC take a hit for grading these comics the way they are? Yeah. Do you think they're going to lose millions of dollars in revenue? I don't believe so. There will still be people that will give them a free pass. And they'll forget about it and they'll move on because they care more about money. There's a reason why they say money is the root of all evil. We need money to survive, but if money is your only priority, where you will abuse your friends, family, and your fellow human beings to get it, it's an addiction like any other addiction. It will eventually consume you. So that is my story on that. Many people will never listen to this. And to be quite honest, I don't care. It's those few that listen that maybe change their mindset or listen to another person's point of view, even if they don't always agree with them, and it makes them think, are the ones I care about. To me, quality over quantity. So will I ever have the same channel I had before? Who knows? If I keep making few videos and not have a lot of content, probably not. But if the only way I can get, then I guess I'll never be popular. So thank you for watching. Thank you to the 25 people to hit the like button. On Sunday, I am doing a live auction. If you are interested in buying any of my comics, you are free to come Sunday, August 14th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. The money will be going to pay for some bills, and whatever's left over, maybe I'll get a comic or two so I can put some video content on this channel. None of the proceeds will be going towards one of those Ultimate Fallout 4s. Not for nothing, I have 2 of the 1 in 25 variants. Well, no, I sold one of them years ago, which I regret doing, so I have 1. But I know I have at least 6 of the first print that I have left. Because I was giving them away in some of the comic book mystery boxes over the years. And I even gave one away free to a subscriber's child. Do the right thing. Eventually it affects you in a positive way. Even if it doesn't. Isn't it a better way to live life than trying to cheat people and mislead them for your own personal gain? It's one of the reasons why, in my spare time, I spend most of my time feeding stray cats. There was a stray kitten just recently came to my house, a little black kitten. We've called her Coco. She was starving to death. It ended up, we went to get her fixed, only to find out that this kitten, it was probably 3 months old, this kitten was already fixed, had a chip in it, and somebody abandoned her and moved about 4 hours away and just left her there to die. Now she stays outside my house with a bunch of other cats. We put cat beds out there, scratching posts. I go out there twice a day, every day, to feed them. And I've even had kids or neighbors or whatever say, why do you do it? I was like, because it's the right thing to do. Now, that's one of the reasons why I can't buy as many comics as I used to. Because I am literally going through 60 cans of cat food every 3 days. But I wouldn't change it in the world, because maybe one day I'll do a story about it, how one of my cats, not once, but twice, literally saved my life. I may do a story on that, probably on my other channel. But that's one of the reasons why I would not be here today if it wasn't for my cat Shy. Twice he saved my life. So I have a thing for animals. Because, you know, people can choose to be in the positions they're in. You know, there's always ways out unless you give up. But when an animal is deserted and abandoned and unloved, you know, they can't get out and get welfare. They can't get out and get a job. And they're stuck in certain areas. And some people may want to hurt them. I've heard people putting food out and putting glass in the food in hopes that they'll swallow it and die from it. There are good people in the world and there are evil people in the world. Free will allows you to choose which one you want to be. I choose to be better. Now, does that make me God, or does it make me better than you or better than anybody else? No. It just makes me me. If you think I'm saying all this to pat myself on the back or make myself feel superior, then you have a bias against me that I have no control over, nor do I care about trying to fix. Right is right, right is right, wrong is wrong. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to do the wrong thing from time to time. It's what we do with it and after it that determines if we are more human and more loving than just greedy, selfish SOBs trying to earn another paycheck. So that's my story. Let me know what you think about this. I hope I will see you at the auction on Sunday. If you're interested in any of my comic mystery boxes, I'll place the link one last time in the live chat. It's also in the description of this video. Check out all the different discount codes that I offer for you guys. Even like I said with the PGX, I offer a couple of discount codes where you can get free pressing on one of the books if you send in 10 or more. And I don't get a dime from it. I don't do it for that. I do it because they let me, and I wanted to do that for you. Because I didn't want it to be just for PGX. I didn't want it to be just for me. I wanted it to also be for you. So everybody wins. If the world thought that way instead of, well, I got to get mine, and think, well, I'm going to get mine, but I'm also going to make sure you can get yours. Just imagine what a wonderful world we'd be living in. We don't have that. It's the haves keeping the have-nots from ever having. Because the haves can never have enough. We could fix world hunger in an instant if the top 100 wealthiest people in the world gave up 1% of their money. We'd fix world hunger in a day. And they wouldn't have to go bankrupt doing it. There's a reason why things happen. Do you want to be a person that needs power that bad that you're willing to hurt your fellow humanity to do it? Do you really need to sell a comic that bad that you're going to cheat others and prevent somebody else from maybe making enough money to put food on their table? And also keep that in mind. When somebody's selling stuff a lot of times, maybe they're doing it because it's the only thing they have left that they have worth selling so they could feed their children. Or they could pay their mortgage. Or put gas in their car to go to work. Because maybe they lost their job. You know, the biggest thing that we all forget to do is to put ourselves in other people's shoes. Most people can see somebody in a bad mood or in a sad mood or depressed mood, angry mood, but they'll never ask, I wonder why they're that way. There is always a reason. Everybody gets depressed, everybody gets sad, everybody gets angry. There's usually a reason for it. So if you see somebody that's just out of their ordinary, just ranting and raving and frustrated, maybe they're just ventilating because something hurt them so bad that they needed to get it off their chest and they didn't know how to do it. So they just vent it out on somebody else. We got to start considering other people. We have to have empathy. So maybe some of the people that bought those books, maybe they did it to feed their family. You never know. Some are just greedy SOBs. But the beautiful thing about greedy SOBs is you can learn from them what not to be. So you can always find lemonade out of any lemon. So, the Ultimate Fallout 4 book. I do not agree with it. I do not like what CGC has done. I do not agree with what I've heard other people doing. But they have the right to do it. Remember, free will means you can do anything, which means the right thing, the wrong thing, or nothing. But all three will have a reaction and will change the course of your world. That's why if you think of all these movies with multiverses, think of yourself with a crossroad path. Okay? You decide to go left. Well, there'll be another universe where you went right to see where your life would have changed. And your life will change based on any decision you make, good, bad, or indifferent. Because even if you choose to do nothing, you've made a choice. And I'll give you the example of the path and the road. You're walking down a path and all of a sudden it splits. You can do the left turn. You could do the right turn. You could go back Or you could say, I don't know what direction to go. I'm going to stay right here. Well, guess what? That is also making a decision. You've done something. You've decided to not do anything. That is a choice. Very few people in this world now are owning up to their choices. And you see the world as it's presented to you now because of that. You cannot hide from truth, no matter how good a liar you are. Because as we see what's going on in the media and politics and governments throughout the world, they've been trying to hide this. This is not anything new. This has been happening for centuries. If you think this is a modern day problem, I hate to disillusion you, but this has been going on for centuries of people lying to people. But the cracks are showing, and people are starting to question things. So we could hate them or thank them for giving us the opportunity for them to be so ridiculous that we choose to never be that way. You can always see the glass is half full out of any scenario and learn that even the most evil person in the world maybe is there to teach you to never be that way. That they chose to be that murdering piece of garbage so you don't have to ever choose to be that, because you see what happens to them from their choice. You could choose to follow it, and many do, and just follow where everybody else goes, but you're not following your path, you're following their path. So as usual, I go off track, but I think my channel has more to do with comics. It has to do with life in general, and a lot of this stuff you can apply to comics. Many viewers will have tuned out a long time ago, and that's okay. If you appreciated what I said, if you agree with anything I said, do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit the share button, leave a comment, because it helps my channel, and let's hear your point of view. You don't always have to agree with me. You don't even have to like me. I'm not here to make friends, although it's nice when I have them. I'm here to speak the truth, which seems to be a very rare thing these days, or at least my truth. It may not be yours. But thanks for listening. Thanks to the 34 people that hit the like button. I hope I will see you Sunday, August 14th for the live auction. Just remember, like I said, I'm going to be selling all key issues. I showed just 4 of some of the books I'm going to be selling. I'm selling nothing but, there will not be a box of 10 comics that nobody cares about. Hopefully I'll see you there on Sunday, and that's 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks so much. I look forward to reading your comments, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'll see you next video. Thanks for watching.